When was the last time you got influenced or inspired by a Pinterest outfit online? If you're a fashion content consumer like me, the likelihood is that the answer is something along the lines of very recently. Today I'm analyzing the fashion side of Pinterest and how it influences the world of fashion all the way from trends to your personal style. Right off the bat, as imperfect creatures, we must admit it, we get influenced by everything and anything around us. Whether you're looking for a cookie recipe and somehow fall into the rabbit hole of air fryers, or your curiosity for a new fashion style turns into a full shopping cart, we can't avoid being influenced by the things we see and hear online and offline. Today we'll be exploring how Pinterest affects our style, thought patterns, and decision-making when it comes to our personal style. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Jemi, and I make all sorts of fashion content, so if you like fashion, stick around. Oh, and here's your usual disclaimer warning that I am working off of my own knowledge, thoughts, and experiences. Now let's dive in. Why are we talking about Pinterest? I'm glad you asked that question, and let me tell you what Pinterest is all about, because you totally didn't already know. In case you've been living under a rock, Pinterest is a social media platform that allows users to discover, save, and share ideas through visual pins. It provides you media, mostly in the form of images, usually catered to your preferences, be that in food, fashion, film, interior design, etc. Pinterest can be used to make mood boards, discover more about topics you're interested in, or in my case, find delicious cookie recipes and some cute outfits. According to Google Trends, the word Pinterest outfit originated around the 2010s and began to gain popularity in 2013. Nowadays, if you type in the search word Pinterest outfit into Google or YouTube, you'll find plenty of content of people analyzing and recreating Pinterest outfits, and yes, that includes my content. However, what you may not realize is that Pinterest actually has a lot more power over trends and fashion influences than we give it credit for. Pinterest is often used by creators and brands as a tool to set certain fashion trends into motion and curate and control specific styles. And while Pinterest isn't the only app with big influence in the fashion world, it is the only one that gets referenced as a source for trends and style inspiration. Like, you don't go to your friends and say, oh, that's such an Instagram outfit. Nobody says that. We always say, oh, that's such a Pinterest outfit. Oh, such a Pinterest girl outfit. Oh, that looks like it could be from Pinterest. Get it? It's the only one that gets referenced as a source. Instagram doesn't have that hype, neither does TikTok. I mean, we do have specific trends within TikTok, such as the TikTok e-girl, but that's a whole separate thing because it's not this entire app. We don't say, oh, that's so TikTok fashion. Or do we? Do I just not know about it? So let's have a look at how Pinterest became what it is and how it affects our personal style and preferences. The evolution of Pinterest. Let's talk about the origin story of Pinterest real quick. I'm going mostly off of my own experiences here, so bear with me as I recollect my past. When I was doing my bachelor's degree in 2015, Pinterest was almost exclusively a place for DIYs, craft ideas, and food recipes. If you wanted to see anything fashion related, you'd go to specific websites that served as lookbook uploading spaces. I'm not kidding, I posted some of my own outfits to one of these lookbook pages. It was kind of like the small app We Heart It, like only certain people know about it, or it has like a small wave of attention, but it never turns into anything crazy. The problem with these sites was that they were pretty intimidating for individuals who didn't have the most extravagant or trendy style, and most of the outfit pictures showcased in these sites were pretty much perfect with like the perfect lighting, the perfect color grading, the perfect pose, etc. I actually tried finding one of the most notable ones of these websites, and I think it was called lookbook.new, but when I tried looking for it, I could not find it anywhere, so I think that website doesn't even exist anymore. Anyways, with the increase of influencers on YouTube, Instagram, and eventually TikTok, a lot of these smaller sites got shut down. With this change taking place, creators began migrating to bigger platforms, and eventually fashion began taking its own space in apps like Instagram and Pinterest. What made Pinterest different from other platforms, however, is that there is no social aspect to Pinterest. You don't go to Pinterest to catch up on your social life, but rather you use it as a visual search engine. This format is what makes it what it is today, a platform to find products and inspiration. The other difference between Pinterest and other social media platforms is that the search function in Pinterest is very good. And usually whatever you search for will begin to show up in your home feed. Like recently, I have been eyeing at some Mary Jane sneakers, though they are all far too expensive, and now 60% of my Pinterest feed is covered in Mary Jane sneakers I can never afford. Fun times, right? Temptation is always there, yet I can never give in because I simply can't afford to. Is it self-control? Is it frugality? Or is it me being a broke bitch? You tell me. The final and maybe the most important factor that set Pinterest apart from other platforms was that uploading lower quality content was deemed as perfectly acceptable in the fashion community. Like I said before, back in the past, it was all about professional cameras, etc. First of all, our iPhones were not good enough to be taking high-quality pictures, so we resorted to nice professional cameras, which then created this sort of expectation that everything has to be professional and cool and with a bokeh lens, etc. But that's a big ask for people like me who just want to take a picture of the outfit and post it online and then go about the rest of our day. Like probably most of the people on this earth, I do not want to schedule multiple photo shoots just to post my pictures online. Snap and go. Just like that. You don't have to have a professional photo shoot in the streets of New York to post a picture on Pinterest. And even though those images do exist, we also have plenty of mirror selfie and casual OOTD type content on Pinterest that does well with its audience. With the shift of creator spaces and expectations on fashion in an online world, what followed was the rise of fashion categories, such as the Pinterest girl category. What is a Pinterest girl? Shortly after the rise of Pinterest outfits came the popular category, the Pinterest girl. To put it simply, a Pinterest girl is usually a female presenting individual who embodies a certain effortlessness, uniqueness, and coolness or beauty to their style and outfits. A Pinterest girl isn't limited to a certain size or race, though the most popular images I see on my feed at least are more often than not skinny white women. A Pinterest girl can also, in my opinion, be a person who anxiety and fear of public spaces run away from. I swear some of these people fear absolutely nothing because they will be filming in full confidence on the busiest streets possible in the world. Kudos to them, honestly, I did not feel comfortable doing that even though I tried. A Pinterest girl outfit can range from goth to coquette, basically embodying any style or aesthetic as long as the outfit embodies the earlier mentioned elements. In my opinion, with enough confidence and creativity and a phone camera, anyone can become a Pinterest girl, so it's not exactly unattainable. This is why the Pinterest girl concept is so popular, because it's not showcasing celebrities showing off luxurious brands, but rather regular people like me who just like to put on an outfit and post it online. Though Pinterest isn't a social platform per se, I do think there is a sense of community that has been created through the Pinterest girl category. We know that if we upload a mirror selfie picture with our outfit of the day, we won't get judged for our setup, our lighting, or how expensive our clothes are. We know that the people who see the post appreciate fashion and the many forms it takes. And we often find people with similar style to ours, especially with how well the search engine works. This is what makes Pinterest and the Pinterest girl outfit category so powerful. It transcends itself beyond Pinterest, having both a negative and a positive association in the fashion world depending on who you ask. Anyone can become a Pinterest girl, yet at the same time they are somehow on a pedestal we can't quite identify. We admire them, and while they are regular people like us, sometimes their outfits feel like they don't belong in everyday style, or in some cases even in the real world. Call it extra, well thought out, or absurd, but these outfits will find their way into many people's feeds. I also want to quickly mention that I don't know of any community or category like this in the masculine side of fashion on Pinterest. If you have been more involved in men's fashion or clothing advertised as masculine on Pinterest, please comment if you know of any community or category in that realm of fashion. Since my fashion ranges more from androgynous to feminine, I haven't really dipped my toes into more masculine fashion, so I don't really know what's going on there. But I am curious to know if there is anything that serves as the equivalent of the Pinterest girl label. The parasocial relationship between Pinterest and the real world. Now more than ever, an outfit trend that you see online may not really exist anywhere in the real world where you live. This is part of a bigger topic I'm considering making a video about, but I've noticed an increase in the creation of unrealistic outfits online that never see the light of day in real life. Mind you, I lived in one of the biggest cities in the world, New York City, and I've seen a thing or two. But I did always wonder, how is it that I'm not seeing, for example, these tights as pants outfits in the real world when I'm seeing them constantly on Pinterest? Or why is it that the micro shorts that lit the internet on fire last year never saw the light of day anywhere I went to in New York? Was I simply not in the thick of the collective fashion hangouts? Or, hear me out, could it be that these images were created to receive a big reaction or make a statement? Having socialized in the content creation circles a little bit, I know that there are some creators who will literally fake their entire lifestyle or situations happening on camera just so that they can garner the attention of a new audience, even if it is negative attention. This rather tactful garnering of attention, I think, can also be used to create a rather unique online identity, especially if the goal is to get new viewers. And it's these attention-grabbing outfits that create a cycle of recreation, be it something simpler, something easier, or something that's a complete copycat version of the original. I'm not saying it's only extravagant or crazy outfits that get recreated, but I have noticed that the more complicated, put together, or unique an outfit is, the more likely somebody's going to try to recreate it. Just something I've noticed. With consistent and repetitive exposure to them, we become obsessed with the idea of recreating these so-called Pinterest-worthy outfits, even if no one around us ever heard of a balletcore-inspired look or whatever. I think as a collective, we've become so accustomed to assume that whatever we see online is reality. Whether it's true or not in real life is the real question. Think about COVID, for example. You were consistently exposed to online aesthetics such as royal core, princess core, and other fashion cores you never knew existed. Suddenly, we were all ordering corset tops and flowy gowns, with maybe only 30% of us making use of these pieces in our everyday wardrobe, regardless of whether or not these trends and aesthetics expanded into our physical surroundings. The point is, we assume what we see online to be normal most of the time. So when a collection of new Pinterest outfits dictates that off-the-shoulder tops are now the it girl item, we all jump on the chance to try them. Except me, of course. I went a slightly different route, and I only got one piece, so I don't want to hear your complaints. Of course, I can't go on without mentioning how this all trickles down from runway fashion, etc. But I do think Pinterest is where the bigger audience gets to see wearable versions of runway outfits. Because let's be real, most of them aren't practical for everyday life. Which is like the whole point, I'm aware. I'm just making a point here, okay? So considering the fact that we don't really see these outfits outside of the online world except in big cities like New York City, Tokyo, LA, etc., it's pretty impressive that they still managed to make us hop onto different trends and try different styles. Do you notice a common theme in all of this though? That's right, whether you're overcommitting to an aesthetic or trend, which frankly deserves its own video, or you are just shopping for what you think is in season, at the end of the day, you are consumeristic. You bring the money to brands and corporations. Hey, let's go. And that leads us to answering the next question. Is Pinterest consumerist? I feel like based on what I've been saying till now, we don't really need to dwell on this topic. The short answer is yes. Pinterest outfits do also work as advertisements, products, and trends. You only need to click an image once to be led to a website where you can buy the product, and it honestly makes shopping for specific items dangerously easy. At the end of the day, whether we want to admit it or not, it is incredibly hard to exit the app without having been influenced or inspired to buy something new. Even now, those Mary Jane sneakers are in the back of my mind, reminding me that I am in fact a broke who cannot afford a prettified sneaker. So it goes, I guess. Like and subscribe so I can afford my little prettified sneaker, please. Anyways, let's talk about what all of this consumerism and influence does to us. There's two things that happen when we interact with Pinterest. The first is the sudden insatiable need for something new, almost like a thirst that needs to be quenched. This can be applied to wanting to do something different with what you already own, or purchasing something new for your closet. It can work both as a negative or a positive influence. Undeniably, Pinterest is a great source of inspiration, I will not deny it. The second thing that happens to us, not always but oftentimes, is that we try to incorporate something new into our style without being fully aware of whether or not we actually love it. Do we like it authentically, or because the internet exposed it to us enough times to normalize it as the standard in our brains? I'm sure we've all done some impulse shopping that has possibly led us to regret hopping onto a certain trend. Even those of us who know our personal styles very well do get swayed by thinking, oh, is this what I should be wearing instead? Because at the end of the day, we are social creatures and we want to be accepted. So going against the grind, especially when somebody tells you, hey, that's not how you wear your clothes, is so difficult if your style is not the exact standard and norm. If your style is, say, punk or goth, or like fairycore, cottagecore, there are certain challenges that come with finding that personal style, and I don't think it's bad, but it just means that you're constantly having this inner battle of, do I wear what society tells me to wear, or do I wear what I feel good in and what I want to wear? Anyways, some food for thought there. So not only is Pinterest consumerist and a platform that has some control over what's trending, but it also affects the very way in which we perceive our personal style and how equipped our closets are, if you will. So why does any of this matter in the world of fashion? As you may well know, we live in a social network and 99% of us are glued to our smartphones. Those of us who have an interest in fashion will find ourselves gravitating to online platforms that satiate our hunger for outfit inspiration. With the evolutionary cycle of death and birth of different apps, the present time has found itself nestled in four main apps: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. These visual-heavy apps provide us with all sorts of entertainment, including fashion. I think the apps that have the most control over fashion's online world are Pinterest and TikTok. Instagram does come to a close second though, if not actually tying with Pinterest. They're very different apps though and serve very different purposes, which is why I'm only covering Pinterest. But out of these three, only one has received a name for itself. With Pinterest gaining the attention of many in our modern day, I would argue that it has a big influence on what fashion looks like and what's trending in the fashion world. So let's finally talk about Pinterest and personal style. Is Pinterest helpful or harmful for creating a personal style? If you don't already know this channel, I am a big advocate for finding and staying true to your personal style. Because of this, to me, Pinterest, like many other sources of inspiration, is a double-edged sword. Now, if we would be looking at art or food, etc., this wouldn't really be that big of an issue, because things like that aren't exactly advertised as something consumeristic anyone can buy. They'll work hard enough and you can sell pretty much anything, even overpriced water labeled as luxury water. The issue with fashion being so incredibly accessible to us and also so finely curated on Pinterest is that it creates an insatiable desire to buy more. Technically, as long as you know where you can purchase the items from, you can buy any outfit you see on Pinterest. And why wouldn't you? Fashion is one of the things that creates and shapes our identity, or rather the version of our identity that we choose to show to others. It affects many aspects of our lives, whether we like it or not. So naturally, it's something most of us choose to invest in, whether that's for personal, professional, or other reasons. Now we can't ignore the fact that Pinterest is also very aware of what you like. It will fine-tune your feed to your preferences and search terms. This does, in many ways, create a vacuum of inspiration you can get sucked into. Just make sure you have one foot in your Pinterest feed and the other in reality, because at the end of the day, what's being catered to you online may or may not resonate with your true style. So while you may be finding a lot of inspiration, a lot of it may also be convincing you that your style isn't good enough as is. It's very interesting because unlike videos, pictures shouldn't be able to create this effect of I have nothing to wear. But in this case, a picture says more than 1,000 words, because if you spend enough time on Pinterest, it will know what it is that you want and what it is that you're missing. So I would say that while Pinterest is a fantastic source of inspiration for outfit repeating ideas and freshening up your wardrobe, it's also a secret passageway to a shopping addiction. It's no accident every third pin these days is actually a clothing ad for a brand, and somehow they always blend in so seamlessly with the rest of the feed. I wish I could browse on Pinterest without feeling like my shopping list keeps getting longer, but alas, it is part of the business. Conclusion. In conclusion, Pinterest has way more influence on us than we give it credit. Whether it's what item you're adding to your shopping wish list next, or what kind of style you're starting to get curious about or gravitate towards, Pinterest does have a say in it if you let it. With increased exposure to social media, you may end up curating a style that doesn't really feel like you, but that's a video topic for another time. Now this all might make you feel a little bit helpless, especially if you're a frugal and budget-restricted shopper like I am, but here's what's going to help you. What you should take away from this video is to tread carefully. What I mean by that is think critically when you admire an outfit on Pinterest or any social media platform for that matter. Here are some questions you can ask yourself to think critically about what you see online. Does the outfit resonate with my personal style? Is it something I would actually want and would like to wear on myself, or do I like the outfit on others and just like their style on them? Do I really need what's being advertised and shown to me, or can I instead innovate with what I already own? Maintaining your personal style is really just learning to think critically about all of your styling and shopping habits. And if you don't have a personal style yet, I do have some videos to guide you on that topic, and I do have some more videos coming soon. And lastly, here's a question I want to ask you. When was the last time you felt a need to buy something based off of the outfits on Pinterest? Have you gotten swayed by a certain type of clothing that you've had repeated exposure to, and if so, what was it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Maybe watch another video to support this channel, and as usual, my friends, I'll see you next time.